Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm very delighted to be here today to talk to you about the pedagogical value of interpreting practice groups. I know it's Friday afternoon, so please bear with me. I hope you'll enjoy my presentation. To start with, I'll define what is an interpreting practice group, its pedagogical value, the open access resources used, and then I'll illustrate an example of such initiative, which is the Interpreters in Brussels practice group, and I'll conclude my presentation with some considerations on possible future developments. So, an interpreting practice group is actually an attempt to answer the question that was raised by Killian Sieber yesterday. How do we become expert after university training? Interpreting graduates are often told that after university training, their skills will inevitably deteriorate unless they keep practicing. Indeed, to achieve a truly expert level of interpreting performance and to assure quality, peer feedback and self-directed practice are paramount. An interpreting practice group is a community of professional and budding interpreters with up to 5 years experience, wanting to practice and honing interpreting techniques, both simultaneous and consecutive, through group practice and mutual feedback. It consists of regular training sessions where members have the opportunity to practice, give each other feedback, and prepare and deliver speeches in their mother tongue. It relies upon the commitment of each participant, as interpreters play a key role by shaping the actual content of each session. The main purpose of an interpreting practice group is to use open access and peer resources to counter the decline in specific interpreting skills that can occur after graduation, while also reinforcing some professionally useful soft skills such as self-confidence and peer interaction. The group is very much rooted in the area where members are based, given that it entails face-to-face meetings. Moreover, collaborating with universities providing interpreting courses is very important as it benefits both parties. On the one side, the practice group has access to equipped premises for free, and on the other side, the university can secure extracurricular practice to their former and current students who benefit from a certain number of spots that are held specifically for them. Let's now look in detail at the pedagogical value of interpreting practice groups. First of all, the social dimension is one of the key factors of this project. Group practice is an excellent forum for social interaction. While the learning curve is still steep, mutual support and the sharing of best practices can actually help novice interpreters facing and overcoming some challenges ranging from booth etiquette to interpreting performance and professional standards. Furthermore, informal moments foster the building of trust and confidence necessary for the smooth running of the working group, and they also create a positive working environment among colleagues. Trust is key when it comes to sharing professional inexperience and finding a place where to allow ourselves to experiment with interpreting techniques or new language acquisition. Along with the personal relationship, members of the practice group actually treat each other professionally and value and accept each other's feedback. This interaction does not only occur among members of the practice group, but also with guest speakers, senior interpreters who join us and take part in the sessions as feedback givers or guest speakers. This peer interaction generates what researchers have defined as invisible learning. That's the recognition that most of the learning we do is invisible, that is through informal and spontaneous experiences. In fact, there is a good balance between personal and professional content within this group. Moreover, as novice interpreters, we believe that we should contribute to the profession by being part of the community, engaging in professional events, and also contributing our time and support. Later on, when I'll present the Interpreters in Brussels practice group, I provide you with further examples. So given that this seminar is focused on how new technology and open educational resources can enhance interpreter training, I think it raises an interesting point on how new technology can help and support the work of practice group. For example, commenting on a specific speech or text, sharing experiences of the interpreting performance, are all ways in which new technology can play a role. But it also raises fundamental issues and questions about privacy and confidentiality. I believe that as we move forward, we should address the realities of working in a digital age. And personally, I still have a strong feeling that it's very hard to replicate this peer interaction and this social dimension online. But I might be wrong and I might change my mind. So let's see now the practice itself. Interpreting practice is often multimodal. In fact, practice groups actually use different resources. First of all, live speeches. Preparing and delivering speeches improves interpreters' self-confidence and hones other communication skills, such as public speaking, note-taking, note-reading. Live speeches are then recorded in order to guarantee their replicability and to share them with the interpreting community. In this way, we have more training and practicing material. I have to say that in our group, live speeches are often preferred to recordings. This might be due to the equipment that we have, or it might be just because it's the preferred choice of the members. We also use online tools, which are a very important complement to our work. We use the European Commission Speech Repository, Speech Pool, and recorded speeches in order to practice at a certain level of difficulty, different voices, and range of accents. As I mentioned before, practice groups meet regularly. This is because frequent interpreting practice allows members to strengthen their interpreting and language skills, and this provides a measurable progress in their skills base, which generates a strong sense of contentment and motivation. And this is another key factor. Practicing in groups motivates members and guarantees consistency in practice, which is key. Peer feedback. Here I have quoted Anthony Hartley's self-assessment, peer and self-assessment in conference interpreter training. He says that conference interpreters rely heavily on group practice and feedback from peers, targeting both language proficiency and communicative competence. Practice and deliberate practice should be intentional, aimed at improved performance, tailor-made and combined with feedback. But in order to make practice meaningful, feedback needs to be effective. This is why we encourage in our group our members to use the grid that was developed by Anthony Hartley, and some of our members actually take part in AIC trainings in order to be able to improve their feedback. This is still a gap that we have in a way. We need to improve how members give each other feedback, especially because, as Keelan was saying earlier yesterday, some of the members actually benefit a lot more than others. Last but not least, group practice session can also involve other lifelong learning events. These are some examples of the initiatives that we organized in Brussels in collaboration with other stakeholders, one of them being AIC Belgium. We took part in AIC Open Day for the Belgian region. We helped organizing a seminar AIC seminar on Spanish politics at KU Leuven. KU Leuven is our host university providing interpreting courses. We organize a voice coach workshop in collaboration with AIC Vega, and we started organizing also mock conferences each month, and these are the topic of the last 2 mock conferences. CPD events are a good opportunity to engage with colleagues, but also with university staff and strengthen professional ties. Well, I will now present our group. Our group is called Interpreters in Brussels Practice Group. As the name says, we are based in Brussels. We are a voluntary group of interpreters ranging from EU accredited interpreters to international organization staffers, freelancers, and recent graduates. Each session accommodates 20 to 25 people due to space constraints, basically, chosen on a first-come, first-served basis. We meet twice a month from 6 to 9 p.m. at KU Leuven, preparing 8 to 10 speeches in order to cover at least 4 among several languages, such as French, English, German, Italian, Spanish, and Dutch. Participants, as I said before, actually shape the content of the session. This means that if they want to practice a specific interpreting technique or a specific terminology, they can request to do that. This is why we, for example, we've set up English into French, French into English practice group called DEF. Because members, they actually express their desire to practice their retour. Moreover, senior interpreters working for international institutions, they usually take part in our session as guest speakers and they provide us feedback. This is done in order to further integrate novice interpreters into the profession. We use several open access resources. We have, well, first of all, an interpreting lab, which is the equipment that we use. These are some of the members of the group. We also have a YouTube account with over 45,000 views where we upload our videos. Here again, due to confidentiality issues, we do not write the name of the interpreters nor any information about the person, but only the title of the speech, any keywords or transcript. For example, here is a video that we upload, and then...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here.
Interpreters can then interpret and replicate the video. We try to be very active online, so we have a Twitter account and a Facebook account, and we also have a website, which is www.interpretspracticegroup.com. On our website, we have several sessions, members directory with the language combination and the professional backgrounds, the videos of our speeches, the events, and a blog session. To conclude my presentation, I have some considerations on future developments, as I believe that creating a network of interpreting practice groups wanting to share recorded speeches and material could actually develop further this project. At the moment, I am in contact with other colleagues who set up practice groups in Madrid, Berlin, and Turin, based on the Brussels model. But unfortunately, when it comes to setting up practice group, they all share the same challenge, which is finding a host university. In the majority of cases, interpreting departments can't grant access to external people due to security issues. So I believe that we could actually overcome such problems by organizing an official network of universities willing to open their doors to former students who are eager to keep up with the interpreting practice. Well, in conclusion, I believe that the work of engaged and committed interpreters, together with technology-led developments, will create endless opportunities for our community, and I believe that this project is one of those. Thank you very much for being such an attentive audience. Now, if you have any questions, feel free.